Die Horde Harnash. This is going to be a video extending what I was talking about in my very first video. It's a video I really need to make because I have a lot more to say, and it's going to be all about the dictionaries that I mentioned. So, towards the end of my first video, I talked about foclóir, teanglann, Cork Irish WordPress, and Dineen's dictionary. And did I mention anything else? I mentioned that I saw some Ulster Irish dictionaries, which were very interesting. So this video is mainly going to be about how to use foclóir and teanglann. It's just in a way that can help you the most to translate and find the words that you need the most. Definitely, if you can, give Dineen's dictionary a look, because what I think it does the best is it has the most obscure words that only exist in Irish. And so literally, if you open it up on a random page and you pick a random word, maybe 10 or 20% of the time it's going to be a word you've never heard of before, and it just is, it's actually inspirational to make you fall in love with the language. If I could use anything to make somebody fall in love with Irish who wasn't in love with it already, that would be it. It's great. And if you're learning any sort of Monster Irish, definitely check out Cork Irish WordPress, the website. You can download the dictionary off of there. It's great. It has so many words. It's not finished yet, so if you're the guy who's making Cork Irish WordPress's dictionary, get on it. But if you're not the guy, then check it out. Because I really need it to be finished. It's probably the best source on Irish I've ever found. Anyway, yes, let's get into it. So, what is different about foclóir and teanglann? What are they good for? What do you need to watch out for? So, as I said before, they're both based on the same sources, right? So, they're both collections of words from the same few early dictionaries, and so that means both of them have a lot of the same words and a lot of the same definitions, right? I'll just jump straight into what each is better for. First thing I'll say is, this took me a long time to figure out, but teanglann is better for translating from Irish to English, and foclóir is better. It's basically made for translating from English to Irish, right? So if you ever have an Irish word and you need to know what it means, use teanglann. If you ever have an English word and you need to know what it is in Irish, use foclóir. Teanglann is really good for finding obscure words as well. Not as many obscure words as you would find in Dineen's dictionary, but there would be a lot of obscure words on teanglann that actually wouldn't be on foclóir, because they don't have direct English translations, and foclóir is built so you can type in English words and get Irish answers. So if you get me, that's why. And what is teanglann good for? They're both good for the grammar sort of functions that they have. I already mentioned that before, and yeah, just be careful of that, because obviously Ulster, Connacht, Munster grammar will be different from the standard grammar, which is what both of the websites show. But foclóir is actually really, really good for this function that they have that teanglann doesn't, which is at the very bottom of any definition that you look up, it will have this little section, phrases. So every single phrase that contains whatever word you've just looked up is added to a database of phrases, and then you can basically scroll through them. And that means a lot of the time, if I look up any word and I happen to be looking for a specific phrase, I will actually be able to find what it is in Irish, and that helps me to not make poor translations and make direct translations, word for word translations, which I'll talk about in a second. I don't know if I can think of an example. off the top of my head. Okay, I just thought of one. Let's say randomly you wanted to look up how to say he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Now, I haven't even done this. I don't know if this is going to come up properly. Maybe I should check. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. I could obviously say Rugoshe le spoonog aitigid in a veil. I'm just going to do it in real time. Silver spoon. Boom. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Yeah, it comes up there. They have basically every phrase you could ever imagine. It's really good. What does it say? Vi an sevris as broinlesh. Okay. So that's a really important point to make about looking up phrases, is that most of the time, if it's a set phrase, if it's something that's repeated over and over again, like a proverb or something like this, which is just like a clever phrase, an idiom, then directly translating usually isn't going to work. Irish and English do share a lot of phrases that, because of our close proximity and because of interaction and trading and colonization, we have a lot of phrases that happen to be exactly the same, right? Like tit ingrálja dinne, to fall in love with someone. You say it in Irish, you say exactly the same. Hit me ingrálja whoever you're falling in love with these days. It's a direct translation from the English, or it's the meaning, is both the same. So coincidentally, because of how close the languages were beside each other, we share a lot of phrases that translate to the exact same thing word for word, but mistakenly people assume that this is true 100%, or they just don't realize, right? So using teanglann and foclóir together will help you not make these mistakes, and especially the phrases in foclóir, because teanglann, you can only look up one word at a time, right? And they also have lists of phrases as well, which is good, but it's not sorted out. So if you look up a word in teanglann, you get every definition that you possibly could. So if you look up the word set, for example, you get like a group of things, or the verb to fix a table. Everything is sorted out for you, and the phrases are there as well. But still, what happens is, because there's so many phrases that are exactly the same in English and Irish, people will assume that they're, that you can just translate word for word. I mean, it happens in every language. People translate word for word by accident, but then you get things like this, which I'm going to make a whole video about myself, which is basically an American doing a really, really bad direct translation in Irish to try and basically take away from the Black Lives Matter movement. And the entire thing, just this picture is perfect. It really is the most ironic translation I've ever seen in my entire life. And I thought of one the other day. What if you wanted to say, you're barking up the wrong tree, right? Which is obviously an idiom, right? I could translate it as, what? Tá tú ag Oostenrijk soas an crown mi hart. But that is me literally saying, you are barking up the wrong tree. If I look it up on foclóir, because they literally have almost every idiom on there, you'll find that it's actually tá an scéal bonus ceannagat, or they have other options as well. There's so many options. Yeah, the one thing that they don't do, either of these dictionaries, is sort things by dialect, right? So maybe you'll find words, I've already said this twice, but maybe you'll find words that only exist in one dialect, but they're not listed as only existing in one dialect, so you might make a mistake with that. That's fine though. Other examples that I've heard of bad word for word translations from English is called suis madre. What up, dog? As in, what up, dog? But they're just kind of funny. And then what did I see? It was either commod suis é or coinnig suis é, which means keep it up, as in keep it up. But that's obviously a literal translation. So if you want to know what those phrases actually translate to, if you want to say what's up, somebody you say Ken skille a chara would be like dog, and keep it up. There's loads of ways to say keep it up. I don't know why this person got it wrong, but you have coinnig lesh or coinnig earth, and then lan lesh or lanart. Loads of options there. And I suppose the last thing I'll say is just a continuation about the audio files in these dictionaries, because last time I talked about them, I said that they were really, really bad, and I checked them again, and they're not great. Obviously, some of them aren't great, but a lot of the time they actually do get things right, so they're quite good. The best audio files are on Fuamina, but yeah, I suppose they might have started to update them, so I rescind that horrible comment. Anyway, yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Teanglann for Irish to English, foclóir for English to Irish. Foclóir has a lot of phrases, and Teanglann has a lot of obscure words. And just be careful with word for word translations, because a lot of the time it can be correct, like teanglann dinne, but a lot of the time it's not. So, sinné, slán go fóill, agus go naidí libse. Oh shit, I really need to talk about go naidí an bóthar leat, because it's a whole thing. Don't worry about it.